page 13 for the question. Alright? So, this homework itself requires you to draw graphs in order to solve a pair of simultaneous equations. Question 3 didn't just stop at part A. So many of you thought that it's just part A itself only. There is also a part B and a part C. Okay, so there were some of you who have incomplete homework exercises. Right? So in part A, what you're supposed to do is copy and complete the table, which most of you are able to do. Right? In fact, some of you provided me with complete working, which is good. I'm sure my face is here. Okay? If you need me to, I can print a photo of my face, put inside an album for you. Although I don't know what you will do with my face. Okay? I have a whole YouTube channel if you want to admire my face. Alright? So, just keep that quite obviously. Okay, so anyway, right, this table of values just have to complete it. I don't really need the working, okay, which many of you are able to get. So, working for question 3 should be behind the graph paper actually. This is the values that we should get. Okay, then for part B, part I, these are the table of values. Alright, so I leave it to you to do your own corrections. I think for table of values, not a problem. The issue that I have is with your graph. Okay, now the graph that you draw, first of all, the axis, make sure you label your axis. So look at your own work. Do you label with an arrow sign on the right and then label your x, because this is our x-axis. And then for our vertical axis, some of you may have it drawn all the way up here. Make sure you have an arrow at the top and then a label of y. Okay? Rose, stop sharing yourself, Joshua. Right? This class is very good at this. Okay? Joshua, just make sure you are the greatest of all time. Right?
Thanks.
So, okay, so over here, make sure you label your y. Alright, then the scale. Okay? Question actually gave a scale. It says, use 1 cm to represent 1 unit of the x-axis and 1 cm to represent 5 units of the y-axis. Okay, so 1 cm to represent 1 unit of x-axis, it should be labeled this way. And then for the y-axis, 1 cm is a medium square, that's 5 small squares, 5 units. You just have to label it in this manner. Don't have to go and label every single small square, which there are people who did it. They label every single small square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you write it so small nobody can see. I think you yourself now looking at it also cannot see. Okay, you don't have to do that. Alright, so just have that spacing and indicate maybe multiples of 5 in this case. And make sure that your intervals are actually even in the sense that not having even numbers, but based on how it is spaced out, it is all equally spaced. Okay? So make sure that you label your axis correct. Then you plot your points with a cross, connect them, okay, and you should be able to get 2 straight lines. The lines you must label with the equation y equals 2x plus 9 and y equals to 1/4 x plus 2. Okay? So make sure you label them. Right? Then after that, for this equation here, make sure you have y equals 2 for equation. You cannot just label as 1/4 x plus 2. Okay? So then please make sure you actually copy this down. Okay, please look at your own work and compare what is submitted inside. Some of you, I recognize it to try that, okay, but then the terms, the mathematical terms that you use, okay, you tell me x-axis or x-intercept, wrong terms may use, okay, so that will convey a different meaning. And then after that, we say that the gradients are actually equal, but the y-intercepts are different. So some of you tell me that the gradients are equal, and therefore it's parallel. But saying that they are parallel is not sufficient actually, because two lines, they are exactly the same. Okay, so you have one line over here, and then if I have another line that's exactly the same, okay, that allows it to have infinitely many solutions. Although the black line and the red line, they overlap each other, are they parallel? They are, because they are the same gradient. Okay, just that they happen to be the same line. Okay, parallel lines need not be two lines that are away from each other. Alright, so these are also considered parallel, just that they happen to end up becoming on the same line. Okay, so you cannot just talk about the gradients only. Okay, that implies yes parallel. Okay, but then you must also mention that the y-intercepts are different. Right? Okay, if you're done with the corrections and copying, okay, please take out your Chromebook. Yesterday I said, right? Okay, homework. Okay? It just tell you about the points, how will the points be allocated. First group will earn 100 points, is it? If you win first, okay? The second winning team will get 80 points, and then the third winning team will get 50 points. We don't have a formula, okay? Now, next. Ready for the first question? Okay, multi-select. Which of the following is equal to A minus B bracket square? Okay, you can discuss first. You can select more than one. Multi-select. It can also be one. So there are two people who tell me A square minus B square and this one. Okay, what did we say yesterday? Okay, when we have A minus B bracket square, it is repeated multiplication, so it's A minus B times A minus B. So it doesn't make sense that we get A minus B times A plus B. Okay, because they should both be the same. How can it be 1 plus the other minus? And then also yesterday we addressed the fact that I cannot actually so-called do a distributive law or a rainbow method and for a power into the brackets. You cannot do that. So it is not equals to A square minus B square. Okay? So if you were to do a rainbow method, you will see that it should expand out into this. Okay, so that's why the answer is the yellow one and the green one. Okay? Next. Okay, so group 1 is at the top tier now. Okay, wow, the score get quite big more. Right, next. Okay, expand it. So maybe you need to do a little bit of working. Okay. Think carefully. Plenty of time. Only one answer. Read carefully. Okay, already someone chose the red and the blue one. Okay, remember when we expand using our formula, okay, we should be getting your A to be 3x. So 3x has to put brackets around it, that's square, plus 2ab, right, and plus 4 square. So 3x plus 3x is actually going to give us 9 square. Okay, and then we get 24x plus 16. Okay, hence the answer should be the yellow one. If you chose the green, you're not careful in the operation. Okay. Second question, next one. 2 more questions. So group 1 is still okay, moving on to the last question. Read carefully. should be getting 6 squared minus 4 times 6 times 5x plus 5x bracket squared, which extends out to be 36 minus away 60x plus 25x squared. But maybe you are distracted by wanting 36 at the start. Okay, you forgot I noticed that down there is a minus sign. Actually, the answer is blue when I rearrange the terms. Okay, it is. Okay, so there's the trick over there. Alright, last one is a multi-select. It can be one answer only or more than one answer. Okay, oh, 3 went up. Okay, last one. Read carefully. Okay, now let's go back to the topic that we are at. give us a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And then we also have a minus b squared, which is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And then the last one we did yesterday was a plus b times a minus b, which gives us a squared minus b squared. Okay? Very, very often, which you also noticed just now, people tend to confuse themselves between this, okay, and this. So I want us to really remember what does a minus b bracket square means. It is a case of repeated multiplication, repeated of the same thing. So it cannot be this one because this is a plus sign over here. So that's why you cannot say that this is going to be equals to a square minus b square. Okay, neither can we bring our powers in. Right, so we must be very clear about which one is equal to which one. So there's very often that confusion over there. Okay, and it can get very frustrating, especially when you go up to Sec 3 and you're still having this kind of misconception. Okay. Yesterday what we did not manage to really do was to practice some example regarding the third formula. Okay, if I recall, practice now 3, did we only do part A? The other part B? Alright, okay. So let's continue with part B. If we have 5y minus 4 times 5y plus 4, I want to apply my third formula here. So I recognize that the A is going to be 5y. While my B, okay, I ignore the operation, I'm only looking for the number, which is going to be 4. Okay, so it gives us our a squared minus b squared. Minus b squared. So therefore, I'm looking at 5y brackets, okay, minus away 4 squared. And that simplifies to 25y squared minus away 16. Okay. Right, so our A, it must be the same value both from the left side of our brackets, and our B, it is the same number also, okay, on the right side within each bracket. Okay, which brings us to part C, whereby we have negative 3 plus 2a and negative 3 minus 2a. So in this particular case, what is the a and what is the b with reference to our formula over here? Okay, the operation in the middle has to be opposite. Right? What is the A and what is the B? Let's choose someone. Okay, as music says, say the and then Faith still lost. Yes, Faith. Can you give this a try and tell us what is A and what is B? Okay. And 2 is B. Negative 2 is B. Do you think carefully? 2a is B. Are you trying to say that? Okay. So 2a, yes, that is B. Okay, so our operation in the middle actually refers and that doesn't impact doesn't impact okay, our A and B. Thank you. Alright, so that means that in our expansion, I'll have my A to be negative 3 square minus away my B, which is 2a bracket square. Okay, and that simplifies to 9 minus 4a squared. Okay, right? Now let's make it faster. Right, and then part D. plus 8 and then 8 minus 1/4 x. Okay? Again, we ask ourselves, what is A and what is B in this case? Okay, we follow by the rule earlier on, A must be the number on the left side, right? But then in this case, it's different. Then what can we do? Okay, what can we do? Let's take the points first. Okay, let me take one person. Elise. Actually, what is the A and what is the B? A is 1/4 x. How do you know that? How do you know that? Because what? Because yeah. Okay, exam asks you to explain why. Because yeah. How do you know 1/4 x? But only 1/4 x, not here 1/4 x. It's not both on the left side, like what I did earlier. Okay, never mind. Tell me that A is 1/4 x. Okay, we have to try here first. And then B is 8. Okay? Okay, this is Hwk Ch's claim. Right? We agree with him. How many of us agree with him? Okay? How many of you don't agree with him? Okay? How many of you are uncertain whether to agree or disagree because you know nothing? Okay? It's okay. Alright? Now let's help Hwk Ch know how to explain rather than because right? So my first question to you is, do we agree that 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2? You agree? Yeah, equal, right? Okay, but of course you must also know that 2 minus 3 and 3 minus 2 are they equal? Not equal, okay? This one is equal. Right? So what this means for us is that, okay, for 1/4 x plus 8 and 8 minus 1/4 x, the problem that we have is that it doesn't align itself nicely like what we had. Both on the left side, it's the same number. Okay, both on the left side, over here, the same number. On the right, it's the same. On the right, it's the same. Over here, both on the left side of the bracket, one is 1/4 x, the other one is 8. They are different. So we need to make use of this idea over here to actually do an adjustment to what we have, such that we can get the same number of both sides. Okay? So based on what we know, that 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2, I can switch this around to say that it is equal to 8 plus 1/4 x. Do we agree? Okay? And then the right side we don't change it. So that I now have my 8 on both, in both brackets to be on the left, and then after that 1/4 x to both be on the right. Okay? So therefore, in this case, I will then have 8 squared minus away 1/4 x bracket squared. So in fact, I define in this case A to be my 8 and then B to be 1/4 x. Slightly different from what Hwk Ch was saying, okay, but actually it does it impact? Actually it does impact. Just now, Hwk Ch said that A is 8 and then B is 1/4 x. Sorry, A is 1/4 x. And then B is 8. So that's not true. Okay, because what we see over here is that my A is 8, my B is 1/4 x. Okay, so the correct one should be this way. Right? And then we will get 64 minus away 1/16 x squared. Okay, yes. Right? Questions? Okay, so we already decided to switch this around, right? But I cannot anyhow switch the y to minus sign, okay? Because why? We know that 2 minus 3 and 3 minus 2, they are different. So we can switch plus signs quite happily, but when it comes to minus sign in between, we cannot anyhow switch it. Okay, there must be some algebraic concept before we go and switch. Right? So if there's no questions, I want you to give part E and F a try on your own. So part E, we have negative 3a plus 2a, negative 3 minus 8, sorry, part E is Okay, I give you about 4 minutes to work on this. Hopefully, the answer comes back. the A and the B. Okay, in our application of the formula. So 6b bracket square minus a square will give us 6b square minus a square. Likewise, he also gave us this very good working over here. Okay, whereby we get our a square minus b square and have this answer. Right, so that's great. Okay. The points. Okay, now we'll move on into learning how is it that we can apply what we just learned into real life. Okay, this is just what's it called? A very simple application. Okay. Although we have calculators nowadays, but sometimes we want to learn how to calculate mentally as well. So looking at practice now for. Okay, it says without using a calculator, that will mean that we need to show working. We want to evaluate, which means to calculate in part A 103 squared. Okay, how are we going to do that? Okay, so for 103 squared, maybe firstly you will think, why would anybody ask me to calculate 103 squared mentally? Okay, we never know. Maybe next time when I buy own house, it happens to be square in terms of its dimensions. Right? Then you want to know what is the size of your house. Maybe it's 103 feet by 103 feet. Okay, and then you have to know roughly what is the area lah. Right? Which clearly we understand that 103 is not an easy number to calculate, okay, mentally. But knowing our identities over here will really help us because 103 can be broken down into something plus something. 100 plus 3, right? Why do you choose 100 plus 3? Because easier, 100 square is easy to calculate, right? 3 square is easy to calculate, right? Okay. Of course, if you want to break it down into 95 plus 8. But not going to be easy. They are equal, but this is not easy to calculate mentally. Okay. So we try to strategize to break 103 square into 100 plus 3 bracket square. And that is where I can apply my very first identity, okay, where my A is 100 and my B is 3. Okay. And that will allow us to get our A square plus 2AB plus B square, which is your 100 square plus 2 times 100 times 3 plus 3 square. 100 is 100 square without calculator. What would that be equals to? 10,000, right? And 4 zeros. Continue here. And then 2 times 100 times 3. What is that equals to? Mental calculation. 600, right? Then 3 square is 9. So very easily, you see, our answer is 10,609. 110 minus 3, 7. Or the value that okay, questions? Right, let's look at another one. Okay, what if we have part C, 49 squared? Okay, how will you form 49 square? 49 square will be 1 and 1. 50 minus 1. Anybody else has a different option? 45 plus 4, you can do 45 square so easily. Maybe anybody can do 45 square easily. I wouldn't. Okay, 40 and 9. What do you think? 40 and 9? 1600. Possible. Okay. Nothing wrong with this, right? Okay, let's do this one first. 50 minus 1 square. We will apply our A square minus 2AB plus B square. bracket square structure over here. So we get 50 square minus 2 times 50 times 1 plus 1 square. Okay, 50 square will be 2500 minus away 100 plus 1. So 2500 minus 100, that will be 2400 plus 1, so 2400. Okay, let's try out what Xavier suggested, 40 plus 9. Let's see whether is it easier or just as simple. Okay, so if I were to do 40 plus 9, that means I apply my A plus B bracket square formula. Right? And that will give us our 40 square plus 2 times 40 times 9 plus 9 square. Okay? 40 square, 4 times 4 is 16. Adding another 2 zeros at the back. Okay? 2 times 40 times 9, that one I think depends on yourself. Some of you may find it easy to calculate, some of you may not. 2 times 40 is 80. 80 times 9 is 720. 9 square, you must be familiar with all your Hwk squares, that's 81. Okay? Then we have the ones place, 8 and 2, that is 0. 7 up, 8, 8 plus 6, 12, 13, 14. So 2409. Okay? Okay, really, this one, I guess it depends on how good your method calculation is. But not wrong at all. Okay, if you want to choose these numbers. Okay? Questions? Alright. Let's do 1 plus 1. My lesson started at 1:40. Oh, wow, 1 more minutes. Okay, let's do 1 last one before you call it a day. What if, looking at part there, 798 times 802. Okay, 798 times 802. What are your options? So we need to compare these two numbers, right? Okay, we must find a common ground. So 798 is 800 minus 2. And then 802 is 800 plus 2. So we must find something that's in common for both of them. Okay, so if this one is choose 800, down here must also have 800. Okay, otherwise I cannot apply my A minus B, A plus B formula. Right, which gives us A square minus B square. So that gives us 800 square minus 2 square. 8 times 8 is 64. Then we need to add in 4 zeros due to the square. Minus away 4. So that will give us 639996. Okay, so there is value to learning your math